I'm melting, as the Wicked Witch of the West says. Has said, I'm tired. Holy crap. Okay. A very, very, very dear friend of mine told me to just talk from my heart. Tell you all what's going on and have some fun. So that's what I'm trying to do. More of that. Um, oh, here. Talk from my heart. Okay. We're going to do an unboxing, and unbagging parts for my thermal. I'm going to call it the refugium. But if I can get a shelter, and told you yesterday what the shelter is I want. I want a shift pod. These are emergency shelters that are used around the world. You'll see there's a scene. I'm going to do a video with screenshots that I took off of a video. I'll put links to the videos, but you see this region of probably easily 1,000 of these things. It's like you see at a FEMA camp or a hurricane relief system, refugee system, where people are being hundreds and thousands and millions of people are being thrown out of a country, having to leave a country. These things are the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've been looking for shelter. From the first time I got online, I started looking at shelter. Two things: shelter and houses. Alternative housing. Shelter and housing are not the same. They're two totally, from the beginning, they're two totally different concepts in my mind, and precepts and ideas and requirements. Okay, principles involved. For a house, we need to build our own homes. Number one, we must build our own home. This is a principle of fact. If you build your own home, most Americans would have, if they would build their own home, they would put $1 million into their life, because that is the amount of money you're going to spend over the course of a lifetime. Figure it out. Take somebody who's had a mortgage, $1,500 a month mortgage, over a period of 30 years. They may never pay it off. It's called a mortgage because it is a death pledge. Mortician, mortuary, Morticia, the Addams Family Morticia. Death. Gage is a pledge, French word for pledge. Mortician pledge, death pledge. So they're betting that you're going to die before you pay it off. Then they can seize it back from your children and sell it to some other sucker and do the same thing to them. They'll up the price by about 10 times. Houses that were once $100,000 are now $1 million. So that's just the way life is. If you can build your own home, and anybody can do that for the amount of money that they make in 6 months, anyone can build a home and just live simpler. You have to have a McMansion. You don't have to have a gigantic $5 million home. And if these rich people would do something to help other people around the world, I'm not talking communism. I'm just saying, if people had it on their heart to help other people, everyone could have a home. I don't know if y'all know this, but this is maybe true, maybe not, but Muammar Gaddafi, our SEAL Team 6 killed him, blah, 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 whatever. He said when he took over in Libya, he said he was not going to build a home for his parents until every single person in the country had a home to live in, a good home to live in. And he was also he had a pipeline system of bringing water to the entire continent of Africa, a system of bringing fresh water to everybody in Africa. That's why and he was going to be on the gold. He had gold to back their currency. So that's why they killed him. He was doing good things for people. He was helping people. He loved people, and they loved him. So you can believe that or not. Just do your own research. Don't bitch at me about it. Okay. So anyway, oh god. I feel so much love from so many people that I could just drop dead right now. I'm talking about the opposite of love, hatred. Doesn't help me maintain hope. But I do know this, and a very good friend of mine, Linda, said, when you're over the target, they're going to shoot at you. If you're in a bombing run, you're over the target, military situation, if you're over the target, they're going to be shooting at you. Or conversely, Bill Grice used to say, friends, if you're taking flak, that means you're over the target. Okay, if people are shooting at you, they're trying to shoot you, kill you, that means you're doing something good and that the enemy is trying to destroy you. And I had that today on a comment on my video, the antenna video. If you look at one of the last 4 videos, nasty comment, just disgusting nasty comment, no reason for it, no purpose in it, other than to tear me down and to try to destroy me. So, whatever. It's sad, it's very sad. Goats and sheep, people. Goats and sheep. The goats are going to hear, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Sheep are going to hear, "Enter ye into the joy of your Lord. Enter ye into my kingdom." Listen to the song. Two songs I want to recommend to you to listen to. One by Barry McGuire, "Enter In." Look that up. Listen to it. It's about John L. Jones was a nasty man, and another guy was a righteous man. He went to church, paid his taxes, paid his tithes. They didn't get into heaven. They were told, "Go away. I don't ever knew you. Sorry, I never knew you. Sorry, but it's too late. Sorry, I never knew you. Depart from me. You've sealed your fate." It's gonna be too late when you hit that gate. What if you hate me now? What if you hate me now, and you get up to the heaven's gate, and I'm sitting there. I'm standing there at the gate. Okay, because Jesus said, "What you did to the least of these, my brethren, you did to me." And I'm there at the gate. They said, "Hey, go stand at the gate for a while." A friend of yours is coming up. You see me and you go, "Oh, I don't want to be with you." And they, well, boom, you're in hell. You're going to hell. Okay. You don't want to live with somebody in love. You can go live somewhere else where there is no love, in the absence of love. So, just my take on it. Or you're better or worse yet. It's never situation. Better or worse yet. It's never situations I've imagined as, "Hey Jerry, come here to the front. Come over here. This guy says he knows you. You know him." I said, "I never knew him. I never knew him. I thought I did, but I found out that he was a stranger, total stranger, because of what he did to me. He starved me. He tried to kill me. Took food from me. He stole my water from me. He stole my money from me. Took my trailer from me. Whatever, Yeah, bad situation. So, depart from me. I never knew you." And the other song is to listen to Keith Green on the sheep and the goats. And the whole point of that parable is, and the whole point of that song is, the only difference between the sheep and the goats is what they did and did not do. Okay, listen to me on that. Look into my eyes. The only difference between sheep and goats is what they did and did not do. It's nothing. It doesn't matter what you believe. You can say you love Jesus all you want. You can say you love Jesus 24 hours a day. You can love Messiah. You can, you preach the kingdom. You're a Torah observant. But if you don't do the things that he says to do, you are going to hear, "Depart from me. I never knew you." Okay? Look at my eyes. You're going to hear, "Depart from me. I never knew you." If you hate right now, you're going to live where there's no hate, where there's hate forever. You're going to live where there's no love forever. If you can't love your brother now, you're not going to be loving your brother forever. It's a simple fact. That's what parable says. You can call Jesus, Messiah, a liar. Messiah, I know, sacred name stuff, but whatever. I try to, be accurate. But if you do not love your brethren now, why would you want to live with them forever? If you hate me now, why would you want to live with me forever? That's if I get there. I'm not saying I'm going to get there. You're not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you hate me now, you don't want to live with me forever, and I don't think you'll be allowed to. So it's just the way it is. Okay, so enough of that. So that's the other song. "Enter In" by Barry McGuire, and "Sheep and the Goats," the parable of the sheep and the goats by Keith Green. Both very powerful songs, very good songs. The last verse of the Barry McGuire song does three men. One is a criminal, one's a crook, nasty guy, cheating and stealing, lying, hurting people. And then the other guy is a righteous guy. He goes to church, he pays his taxes, he pays his tithes. Neither of them get in. They're both in the same boat. They go to hell. The third guy, C.T. Studd, he was a humble man. He served his Lord both night and day. With all his life he lived to honor him, and at his feet he learned to pray. And the Lord said, "Enter into the kingdom. Enter in, my friend. Enter into the kingdom. Now your life will never end." I gotta tell you, I love C.T. Studd. I've read it about him. prefer to be with people that love. I don't want to be with people that hate. I'd rather not live in this world right now with the people that hate me. I'd rather just go to heaven, or be sleep, take that long sleep, and wake up someday. Maybe end up in heaven, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not saying believe I'm going to go to heaven. I believe I will, but All right. So anyway, that's just neither here nor there on that. It is neither here nor there. It's quite a bit to be here nor there. So let's get to unboxing, unbagging. This is my there's nothing refugium. I have that word burned into my head from the 36th annual Ozark Area Community Congress, OACC, Ozark Area Community Congress. That year, they talked about the Ozark Plateau is a refugium. And that word, there's a lot of definitions for it. The basic definition is if you have an aquarium and you have big fish and you have little fish, the big fish tend to eat the little fish, right? You got to have a safe place for the little fish to go. So they have a hollow log or a coral reef with little openings in there where they can swim in there. Little fish can get in, big fish can't. So the little fish can go in there and survive. You can feed them once a day. You can feed them down there. They can stay alive in your big aquarium. You can have a 100-gallon aquarium, and you can have big fish and little fish. And the little fish can be safe, and they can live and survive if they have a refugium, a place to go of safety when the big fish are hunting. Well, let's upscale that to a region, okay, a bigger region called the world and called the United States at least. Is there a refugium? Now, here's another definition of refugium. Look at me, okay. A refugium is a region where a species or a group of species can survive in the face of extinction in the surrounding regions, the surrounding areas. ... As in an ice age, okay? And this region is somewhere 40 million people could survive in the event of a complete LE, extinction level event. If you want to know what an LE is, watch the movie Sudden Impact. The president's, they're storing up food and they're cramming stuff, and this lady thinks that he has a mistress because he's talking about Ellie on the phone. Ellie, we got to get ready for Ellie. Well, it wasn't a mistress, it was an incoming asteroid or end of the world event. Extinction level event, ELE, extinction level event. Okay, if we hit that, the Ozark Plateau will still be here. It'll be higher, it'll be raised up above ocean level rising, and I'm not saying I believe in all the global warming because I don't, but it is pretty mild right now. Pretty mild winters, the last several winters. But that's not the subject of this conversation. The subject is the Ozark Plateau being a refugium. And it's not called refugium, it's a refugium. Look up the word, look how to pronounce it. Learn how to speak English. Okay. That's the third volume of my trilogy. Delirium, Imperium, and Refugium. I believe we're going into, or are going to go into a time of Imperium, a time of preparedness. Millions of people are coming here to the Ozark Plateau from around the country and around the world. There are Russians here, a lot of Russians here, from all over the world, because they believe that Ava, Missouri is the center of the largest and safest region on Earth. The fact they happen to be quoting me from one of my videos, I don't know. That's almost word for word. I never have found where I said it or wrote it in email or in video, but if anybody finds out, let me know. But I've said that Ava, Missouri is on the crosshairs of the Ozark, center of the Ozark Plateau. Meaning that if you were to take a rifle scope and put it on the Ozark Plateau from corner to corner, corner to corner, on the crosshairs of that corner to corner would be Ava, Missouri, or pretty close to it. It's like Dora, Drury. So anybody that's over in Dora, Drury, Ava, Dogwood, Missouri, you're in the center, and I'd love to be there. I've felt the leading to be there since 2009. I went in 2009 to try to find a home to live there. All these rich people come here, and every once in a while I think that, well, maybe they could find a property and have a house on there for me, to be able to live there, have a internet capability and classes, training, teaching, do feast days, travel from place to place to place to place to barter and trade, train people, teach them how to do rocket stoves, in-ground rocket stoves, cob ovens, you know, so many things that we need to know. Fermenting food, smoking, curing. Okay, so anyway, rewind, rewind. Um, that wasn't really a bunny trail. Kind of, sort of was. Okay, 2 songs. Listen to those songs. Barry McGuire, Keith Green. Figure out whether you're a sheep or a goat. Because if you're a goat, you don't want to be a goat. And I came up with the saying that sheep, because we've had sheep and goats here. Barbados sheep, which are a hair sheep, they're really good, easy to raise. They're wonderful moms. The ewes are wonderful, wonderful mothers. And dead of January, 20 below zero. You know, my friend John would be feed them every day, and there'd always be 10 of them. There's supposed to be 11 of them. 10 would come out, one wouldn't come out for a while, because then she would come out after the other one. All the other one would come out first, and then she would come out with her new babies, her new twins or triplets. Sometimes they do triplets. So they were easy to take care of in the dead of winter, whatever. They very easy to manage and control. Wonderful food source, easy to take care of, easy to feed. They do a lot of browsing like goats. They browse and they forage. They forage off trees and they browse on the grass like goats, but they forage more like goats, but they do both. Okay, so anyway, but sheep are not nasty, cruel, violent. Goats, there's only 2 things that goats want to know. If you have goats, if you're thinking about getting goats, there's only 2 things they want to know: where they're not supposed to go and how to get there. Okay, and I said that one time to a guy I just met that day, Jeff Stacy, and he did that day. He said he invited me to rodeo in Humansville, Missouri, and I went there and with 2 of my children. And he's riding around on his horse. You know, he was the MC for the thing. He's got his cowboy hat on, his spurs and boots and everything, and has a headset on, packed behind his belt. He says, I learned something today about goats. He said, there's only 2 things that goats want to know. I learned from Jerry Diamond. Goats want to know 2 things: where they're not supposed to go and how to get there. That was pretty cool to hear that same day from somebody, and I didn't know that was going to happen, but it was really neat. It was just a interesting incident in my life. So goats are very greedy. They're very violent. They will kill to eat. And they will, if their goat is eating, they'll ram them, and they could break a rib. One of my son's goats got punctured with a horn, one of their antlers, horn. Big bloody gash out of the side of it for quite a while. Healed up eventually, but you know, they could kill. They did kill some of the Barbados sheep, because the sheep were pregnant, ewes were pregnant, and these nannies would just ram them and just break their ribs and kill the baby, and then they'd internal bleeding. You know, they would bleed to death. Quite a few of them bled to death. I don't know if all of them did that were pregnant, but 5 or 6 of them bled to death from internal bleeding and just lost them. You know, very sad, very stupid. Goats are mean, ornery, violent, selfish, greedy, nasty. This is why God calls bad people goats. If you're greedy, nasty, hateful, selfish, ornery, greedy, selfish, if you're willing to steal, if you're willing to hurt other people to benefit yourself, you are a goat. Okay, if you're peaceful, peace-loving, and not going to kill other people, you're a sheep. So people need to figure out whether you're a goat or a sheep. Okay, enough of that. Why did I get up on that? I don't know. I got up on that because of sheep and the goats. Okay, so there you go. Little lecture, a little sermon on sheep and goats. Please figure out whether you're a sheep or a goat. Oh, and the reason I came up with that saying, at that point in time, I came up with a saying: sheep are sharing, goats are grasping. Sheep will share, goats want to grab everything. If there's a bunch of food, a goat will hurt other goats to eat all of it. Want to eat all of it, not just some of it, all of it. My son had a goat that, her name was Caroline. She was a good nanny, good mommy, but she had a baby, and they called her Caroline, CJ, Caroline Jr. Well, Caroline got into the dog food. The dogs were for the dogs, and she butted the dogs away and ate a bunch of the dog food, enough dog food that her stomach bloated up and she exploded inside and died. So we had to bottle feed Caroline Jr. Very sad, very stupid, very ridiculous. Okay, so I'm unboxing this. Just a bunch of baggies with pipes in it. components for my heating system. Don't feel quite as heavy as the other ones. These are directly from China. Anything else in there? I think I got 4 of them. Long ones, shorter ones. I'll show you one here in a minute. I've already talked about them. I don't want to go into too much detail because I have a lot of ideas. This is something I've been developing and perfecting over a period since 2009 or 10. No. I don't know. Tabernacles, Oklahoma, Bayan, Oklahoma. Let's say about 2012, 2010, 2012. And I built with my youngest son. He was very Sunday, and I asked him if he remembered, and he didn't remember. We dug a trench. It was really sandy soil. We dug a trench, put in pipe, 4-inch pipe, and put an elbow and T and whatnot, and we lit a fire, cooked on it. And it was really nice. A lot of times the tabernacle, it's really cold. Well, it wasn't cold that year, so I didn't put my teepee tent up over it because I didn't want to sweat during the night. I don't like to sleep in heat. I like to sleep in cool. So I didn't do it. I didn't use it as a serious heating system because I didn't need the heating system. But we built it. It worked fine. No smoke coming out of it. And then for my Beyond Off-Grid documentary, I can give you the links for that below. 2013 it would have been, I think, or maybe 2014. Spring of 2014. The director, Sean Town, came out to my farm and interviewed me in a geodesic dome that John Hurt sent me. Free of charge to help him tweak it and perfect it. I've been writing comments on his videos ever since to help him do that. And in fact, I know I could bury a geodesic dome made out of bamboo. He built a geodesic dome using bamboo instead of PVC. This is about 10 times stronger. I said, well, I can bury a geodesic dome and drive over it with my son's 13,000 pound Bobcat. There's a shorty, real short one. Oh, I got those. I did. I'm sure there should be 4 of them, but I don't know where I see them. Maybe I got 2 of them. I don't know. Maybe there's only 2. Figure it out later. So I got a plan for all this, and one thing's been happening repeatedly, especially recently, it seems to be increasing, is combination of ideas and technologies. You combine 2 technologies that nobody else knows about, you can't put them together, and suddenly you have a whole new idea. Well, this is what this is, a whole new invention. Combining an ice fishing shelter with a in-ground rocket stove system. So I can build that and make a kit and sell it, market it worldwide so easily. Shipped out from Amazon, shipped out from whoever, wherever, eBay, and have it be a worldwide, deal and sell probably 1 million of them pretty quick. They'll make 12 bucks a piece. That's $12 million. Okay. Hint, hint, Mike Leathers. All right. Well, I'm about tired and my voice is going, and that's got at least some points across. I'll say again: drive now or walk later. I got on my phone. I found the PDF file for Lights Out. I can't read the whole thing. I might do it. I might not. Probably not off of the phone. I'd like to find the book, the hard copy. I might see if I can read it on a tablet. I do have a tablet. I can jump from Wi-Fi hotspot. And that's another thing. I had a tablet stolen and I had my laptop stolen. So that's bad. Somebody around here is a thief. I know there's 2 people that are thieves, I think. But anyway. Fact. One. Anyway, neither here nor there. I don't know who stole it. I'm not saying who. I'm not suspecting anybody, but I don't really care. The words simplifying my life. You don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. That's okay. Fine. I'm okay, Father. Thank you. All right. Anyway, God bless everybody. Thank you for your time and interest in my life and work. The Life and Works of Jerry Diamond, posthumously. I'd rather not be published posthumously. Anyway, all right. Goodbye. God bless. Let me see if anybody's on. Who knows? Maybe somebody's on. Ha ha ha. Miracles happen, right? Yeah, there are. Jeremiah Shine. Hello there, buddy. How you doing? Jeremiah Shine and Gadiant next now. Because it's from China. Yeah. China. Well, no matter where you get them, they're coming from China. These just seem to be a little bit. Of course, they've been beat around more than once. I got some shipped from in country, and these are been shipped from a lot further. Well, in a bag instead of a box, maybe. Whatever. It's not that big. I can use them. They're usable. They're stainless steel, so that's cool. I'm gonna do. All right, back in the saddle. Yep. Back in the saddle again. Nobody home. All right, well, thank you guys. God bless. I'm hoping to be reading a little bit here before long, if I can figure out how to do that. So, all right. See ya. Hang in there, guys. There it is.